we're always looking to like expand and have fun.
Right.
Again, one thing I'm gonna die on this point is that sneakers was always supposed to be fun.
Today we have Bola from Soul Mentality. Resale stores are going through it right now. They're having so much trouble, but the fact that you're not reliant on the resale solely to stay in business, you've got the Soul Mentality. No, I was trying to put the pun in there, but I didn't do a good job.
That's a great plug. Someone clip that in the chat. We got to do all these really fun, stupid adventures as we fell in love with the hobby, right?
Right.
We continue to talk about this, and our motto, you'll see it over there, is every step tells a story.
That's awesome.
And I wholeheartedly believe that when you wear a pair of shoes, you continue kind of the legacy, whether you're wearing a pair of, 81 point game Kobe's that have so much cool cultural meanings.
APTHCRY on the wave. Shoes off, pause, yeah, let's get it. Shoes off, but the vibes stay loud. APTHCRY heat, yeah, I'm flexing in the crowd. Socks on the scene, that's a subtle little flex. Talking drip in the pod, yeah, we setting the next. Mic on fire, we vibing with the crew.
Really quick, before we dive into the episode, I want to let you guys know about a pop-up shop that we're doing exclusively for All-Star Weekend, actually at Bola's store, Soul Mentality. It's happening from Thursday the 12th all the way till Sunday the 15th. I think the entirety of All-Star Weekend, but there is a special launch event actually happening Thursday night from 6 to 9 p.m. Thursday the 12th at Bola's store, Soul Mentality in Long Beach. Just stop by. You can win some sneakers. We're giving away like early pairs of All-Star releases. I'm giving away socks. We've got tons of exclusive merch. Come through, say what's up, hang out Thursday night, this Thursday, the 12th from 6 to 9 p.m. at Soul Mentality. Hopefully I'll see you guys there. What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Shoes Off podcast. Today we have Bola from Soul Mentality.
How we doing?
Thank you so much for having me, man. This is amazing.
No, thank you so much for coming. It's, we've talked for a while.
We have.
We've worked on plenty of shoes, I think. And,
Yes.
It's finally nice to get you out here to kind of see what we have going on. Obviously,
It's amazing.
The dynamic of both parts of the store. And I kind of wanted to give you an all-inclusive look at how we do things, why we do things, and why it makes sense, right? I think one thing in the sneaker community ever since 2019, 2020 is that affordable sneakers have been so hard to obtain.
Yes.
And
Yes.
also the customer base, I feel like, is genuinely suffering from how many people are either spending an arm and a leg to get their pairs or from, having to camp out for days or,
Yeah.
buy EQL Plus to get their hands on a pair.
Dude, it's crazy. Yeah.
Or, go above and beyond these normal measures that it used to be, right? In 2017, 2018, you could pretty much walk into like a Shoe Palace or, a men's line or something like that and be able to get these pairs and, not only on just a discount, but also like easily. And now we have to jump through a million hurdles. And I think finally the sneaker market's starting to heal on that.
Yes, I think so.
And I really appreciate you giving me this like an opportunity to defend, resale stores. And some of us do things great, I promise. But that's to me has been so fascinating as, we've built the store and we've obviously had this dual kind of component to it, which has allowed us to focus very much on serving the clients to the best we can, right?
That's awesome.
The Long Beach location, we have two locations.
Oh, cool. Okay.
One is in Fountain Valley, and then one is in Long Beach. As of right now, we don't really have a website. We do ship out, so if you reach us through Instagram or through any of our social medias, we can figure out a way to get the pairs to you.
Oh, awesome.
It's just we didn't focus on the website and the World Wide Web for so long because we wanted to make sure that our day one customers, the people we, the community component of it all.
People who walk in every day.
Exactly, are served and also don't have to compete with the fact that I am now competing on a global scale with some of these bigger platforms. And so I got to keep my prices at what they are and everyone gets to be kind of happy and addressed it, right?
Yeah.
One thing I will say about Long Beach specifically, when we picked this location, we picked a place that was kind of in the hub, right? We're 1 block away from downtown Long Beach, which is always poppin'. We're basically on Frat Row. I don't know if you saw it while driving.
I did
here.
see some frats walking in, yeah.
Exactly. There's like 5 frat houses. And then on top of that, you also have, a middle school, a high school, a college, and a bunch of other like community ran places that we get to contribute with. And we also get to interact with, right?
That's awesome.
My favorite part is obviously when, it's right around like prom season, graduation, and you'll be surprised the amount of times that this happens, is a mom and her kid will walk in and they'll be like, he needs some decent shoes for graduation. And that's where we get to work. That's where I can, give them these amazing prices. And again, because of the dual component of the store, the fact that we have the smoke shop side functioning perfect, and then
Right.
we have the sneaker side functioning, it allows us to be a little bit more aggressive on pricing.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, I think one thing that has ruined the sneaker community and that has ruined it is it's no longer friendly. It's competition.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Because you work with a couple of big resellers. I think every single person is trying to adjust for market, and like everyone's
Totally.
like, when the shoe lands here, it'll go up in price, it'll go down in price, and you're trying to predict the odds of it. Well, because we get to do things on the scale that we get to do it, right, where it's still working with the people in our community,
Right.
and we don't, it's not our sole income, right?
Right.
When you get to these bigger names, right, and we're not going to talk about anyone or just throw shade or anything, but when you get to all these crazy and big people that are, doing it to that scale, you are looking for every way to save a dollar, you're looking for every way to cut costs and to make the most money, because that's your livelihood. That's what your business model kind of depends on to function.
Right.
We don't have to do that. And I'm not saying, we're better than anyone or anything of that nature, but because the smoke shop side can cover the day to day and
Right.
work on, keeping the lights running, the sneakers gets to be what it always has been for me, a passion project.
That's
it's
awesome.
the extra funds. It's the getting to help people out. And even if we lose money on sneakers in cases, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, it's not like, oh, because I made a loss on sneakers this month, I can't pay rent, which is where most of these stores have to be, right?
Right.
With
Right.
the volume that these people do it in and the volume that everyone goes into, you have to be very strategic on what you buy and how to save costs.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not saying I'm aiming to lose money or anything of that
Yeah.
nature, but it doesn't matter to me if on these deals I get to make someone genuinely have a great day, a great memory. When we first opened the store, I always say this story. We had a mom come in and she was like sobbing. And I was like, what's going on? Like, she's like, it's my son's birthday tomorrow.
Oh, man, okay.
I need something to wow his shoes off. He's had a really tough year, and I'm not going to air her business out, but they've been going through a lot of things that month. And, being able to, I think we beat her budget by well over $100. We were under $100 for what she wanted to spend.
That's awesome.
We got her son a pair of shoes that he was jumping up and down. She came back and showed us the video.
That's awesome.
And it was so cool to be able to, like, have played, a small part in their lives and to, like, help them escape from what they were going through. And at no cost to me, right? That deal wasn't as terrible as we all thought it was. Like, we were still okay at the end of it, right? But they got to have something really cool. It didn't affect me. And because at the end of the day, like, you'd be surprised how the smoke shop side can keep the lights on and keep everyone
Yeah.
happy. Well, we get to do what we need to do and continue to work on this, right? Me and Mina, who's my co-owner, we love sneakers, right? There have been many moments where Mina's way older than me. He's 35, 36.
Oh, cool.
And so he used to pretend to be my dad when I had to get out of school to go to sneaker events.
That's
and
awesome.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but I hope my middle school or high school don't see this. But there would be days where I'd like, Mina, you're going to call from school, tell them I'm at home sick. I need to go and camp out for XYZ shoes. And literally Mina would be like, got you covered. Like,
That's
and
awesome.
we got to do all these really fun, stupid adventures as we fell in love with the hobby, right?
Right.
We continue to talk about this, and our motto, you'll see it over there, is every step tells a story.
That's awesome.
And I wholeheartedly believe that when you wear a pair of shoes, you continue kind of the legacy, whether you're wearing a pair of, 81-point game Kobe's that have so much cool cultural meanings, or you're wearing something a little bit newer like the Valentine's Day Kobe's or the Valentine's Day Jordan 4s, you get to continue the story and you get to wear it and you get to rock it. And also, like, this is totally selfish because I get to continue to collect the pairs that I couldn't get when I was younger. And now the fact that everything is fair game, it seems like,
Yes.
is so cool because, like, if you would have told me in 2015 that you'd be able to own a pair of Undefeateds and
Right. I know, it's crazy.
spend like less than $300
It's nuts.
and to get that pair in hand and to be like, wait, this is amazing, this is it. Like, this was the shoe that I personally had on my wall. Like, there was a little poster of it that, like, was on my wall growing up, and
That's awesome.
like, this was my wallpaper, and this was like such a gem and a grail for me. And then being able to not only own a pair but like actually have gone to experience some of the pop-outs and the events and the rollout of that shoe
Right.
was so cool, because I think sneaker stores and sneaker culture forgets the purpose of all of this.
Yeah.
It's, at the end of the day, it's not a business. Well, I'll argue that there's great profits and there's great math to be made on all of it because at the end of the day, you know, money is a vital part of the world.
Absolutely.
And it's important. You're getting to share these cool experiences. I got to sit down with 2Js at SneakerCon, actually.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
And one thing he told me that really changed my perspective on all of it was sneakers is a language that could be universally understood. And that quote like hit me so hard because that's the easiest icebreaker. It's the easiest point of conversation. It's, again, when I wear a pair of, you know, the Hollywood Kobe's, people understand the history. Okay, that's a, you know, 2011 drop. Like, this is what it is. And it's also a way to kind of express myself and communicate with people when words don't do enough, right? When you can't do that and you have to get out of your zone. And so I love sneakers. And the way that we've set up the store in such a manner allows me to continue to love my sneakers and do things in a manner that doesn't hurt the community that we, you know, that I've loved and I've grown up in. It allows me to continue to give back to my little world of the culture, right? Because obviously I love dealing with people and love dealing with customers and I love helping people and getting to have these cool moments. And it also lets me like enjoy what I do, right? I seriously look forward to getting all these cool pairs. I love chasing my grails. And I also get to play, I think, a part in everyone's story in doing that with the store. Not in everyone, but in all the customers that kind of walk in. And so that's one thing that I've really enjoyed about the model of the store and the setup of it all was not only did I get to, one is not have to worry about being right. You know, I think you've seen it, and as successful as you've become and as big as you've become, there was a lot of failures and a lot of struggle to get to where you are.
Totally, yeah.
And by having the safety net of, you know, that side of the store, I've not had to really worry about those safety nets as much, right? If I make a bad sneaker purchase because, you know, we buy a large quantity of something and it's not the most profitable shoe, we lose some money on every pair, you know, $5 or $10, who cares? Because at the end of the day, that's fine. You know, the profits are being made from somewhere, right? It's not an end-all, be-all for how things kind of need to be spun and go. So that's been kind of like the blessing in disguise while you get to continue to work on what you love and get to meet these amazing people and continue to build this legacy and, you know, continue your part. Like, what was your first pair of sneakers you ever owned?
First pair of sneakers I ever owned was probably a pair of Air Jordan 5s, Fire Reds.
Where did you get them?
I bought them used, actually, from a friend of mine. So
that story, I'm sure you and your friend think about it all the time. It's constant. That friend played a part in where you ended up, right? And I think it's so cool for me to, you know, excuse me if I'm being egotistical, to get to play that role in so many of these younger sneakerheads because, again, the sneaker market has been turned upside down. It's really, one, it's hard to be a sneaker store solely and to be profitable.
Yeah.
And it's also really, really hard to do things like well. And, you know, this is where you start running into the problem of like shady business practices and obviously, you know, whether you're buying stolen or fake shoes or whatever that situation, rabbit hole you eventually go down is, you don't have to worry about that with the side of the store. I don't care if I pay high on specific pairs because, you know, I'm going to obviously try to sell it below market or whatever it is.
Right.
And odds are what I paid plus the little markup we're trying to make will end up balancing out everything, right? It'll still make a client happy or a customer happy. It'll still help out. And even if we sell it for what we paid, it's not a big deal because it's not our income. And like, that's one thing that I've noticed, obviously being in the sneaker culture since I was literally a teenager and watching it grow up over, you know, like the last 10 years that I've seriously been working on sneakers and like studying and collecting them, is that you don't need, like, you can't do this and not be greedy if it's your sole version of income, right?
Right.
You've seen so many people run into problems and have those issues because, yeah, your whole livelihood and your whole operation is based on those margins. And the whole reason that soul mentality exists and gets to work and gets all these little fun quirks that it does is because I'm not worried about the margins. At the end of the day, or at the end of the month when I look down and I do my invoices and I do my everything and make sure it all maths out, I don't have a heart attack when I see how we sold on sneakers or when we did it, and it allows us to...
That makes sense.
Well,
tell me a little bit about, so okay, Just tell me about the layout of the store, 'cause it's not on camera right now, but you've got a smoke shop on one side, and then you've got the sort of center glass cases with smoke stuff on one side, and then you've got some sneakers and Pokemon cards, and like, did I see some Labubus over there too?
Demon Hunter.
Demon Hunter.
We have Labubus.
Oh,
with
dope.
the trend.
Nice, very cool. On that side as well, and then obviously this is all sneakers. So is this? First of all, I guess tell me about how it all got started. Like, how long ago did you guys open? Was the concept always to be a smoke shop sneaker store? Like, what was the whole?
So we've been open just about 2 years. We're gonna hit
Nice.
2 years next month.
Cool.
And the idea wasn't to always do this half combo method.
Okay.
Primarily, again, my co-partner was really big into the smoke shop scene. He understands that.
Cool.
Set up the layout and everything very well, and he's always kind of been the more business savvy person.
Nice.
And I've always had a dream, obviously, as every little kid does, of owning a sneaker store, right?
Fair.
And so we've hit this weird point of like, okay, let's do something. We want to do something. We don't know what to do. And we sat down on New Year's and we were like, wait. What if we just like did it? Like, what if we just
That's
split the
awesome.
store right down the middle?
Right.
And we get to, do both at the same time.
That's awesome.
And you'll be surprised, again, the amount of crossover and collaborations you've experienced with people who are obviously smoke shop fans and, who
Right.
partake in the hobbies. And then the amount of people that are sneakerheads and, are culturally driven. And it's this weird, like, center point, because I think both items play a really big point in culture, right? Obviously, if we said, like, there's the iconic photo of MJ smoking a cigar, right?
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
there's very clear moments where the culture and the smoke shop side meets.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
it also allows you to, like, this is so funny, but it allows you to address every addiction that the person has, right?
Fair.
Like,
Yeah, 100%.
The running joke we used to always tell people when we were getting our permits and our certifications and everything figured out, I used to always say we're an addiction-based store. Because
Yeah, you got the sneakers, you got the smoke, I got everything, and you got the clothing too. Shoot,
Exactly. We have a really
and
good amount of
Pokemon
clothing.
cards, dude, everything.
Again, in all seriousness and all funniness, it's an addiction-based store because
Yeah.
you'd be surprised how many people love sneakers and how many of our regulars will constantly send me text messages and be like, hey, I need this pair of XYZ, like the infrared sixes, right? It's the
Right.
pair that everyone's blowing us up for recently.
Oh, right back there. Yep.
Yep.
They're dope.
So you'd be surprised how many people are like addicted to this, and I love it, and also to be able to help them out because we've heard so many horror stories, right, of people
Yeah.
buying fakes, getting scammed, paying way above, and it's this really cool point of being like, you know what, these are the regulars that we love and we get to work with every day,
Right.
and we also get to expand our horizons and get to do cool things and
Yeah.
meet with the people that influenced us and helped us grow up, like such as yourself.
Appreciate it.
And help us understand the market and everything. So the store is set up to be very like dual natured, and you obviously will face some troubles with that. So one is the licensing from California and city of Long Beach
That makes sense.
was a interesting one to face, but we
I'm
got
sure.
through it.
Yeah.
Because like, how do you explain this, right? How do you explain the fact that you have both a reseller's retail permit as well as a
Oh, you needed two different permits. So you could, gosh, I didn't know that you needed a permit for. I mean, I'm assuming it's just a standard reseller's. Okay, that makes
Exactly.
sense.
It's a standard reseller's permit to help you kind of, obviously with tax filings and
Right.
obviously getting those pairs in, whether you're, getting them from Canada or something like that or whatever it is, or importing them from other states.
Right.
You
Makes sense.
You need to present that information.
Gotcha.
And then on top of that, obviously the smoke shop side of everything.
Yes. Yep. And I'm
Um,
sure there's tons of permits for that too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then, so that was one of the biggest challenges we had to face. Obviously, like the layout and the flow of things. We, wanted to make sure that if people, again, from those high schools and those colleges that came in that couldn't partake on the smoke shop side,
Right.
were able to still come in and shop and figuring out an effective manner to do that.
Yeah.
We made sure that all of our employees go through super strict training on IDing and making sure that everyone's above age for it.
Nice. Nice.
And so you hit these weird like nuances. You get the good and bad of both sides. That's
Yeah.
how I always say it, right? You have to
That
sit
makes
there and think
sense.
about it, and it's so weird to our employees who do an amazing job at handling it all. Where like it's like you need to be really knowledgeable about smoke shop products and identify all that world. And then I also need you to understand everything that's going on with the sneaker industry.
yeah, that makes sense.
And then also be able to authenticate sneakers and authenticate IDs. Like we hit this really weird point of like
Yeah. How do you hire for that? How do you find people that can? What's your method for finding good employees? I guess is my question.
ooh, that's a great
Specifically
question.
for this kind of layout.
One thing that I've learned is I can teach you fundamentals and I can teach you how to be good at customer service, how to understand it, because all of this stuff is researchable, right?
Yeah, for sure.
If I gave someone, hey, you get 3 paid days of training, that you're going to be here for 8 hours, do me a favor and run it at your own pace. There's an employee already working there. Just come in here and sit within the store. And that's one thing that has helped us a lot, is we've given people the opportunity to be like, before you get started, before you get hired, before I even teach you how to use our sales system, do me a favor and sit down in the store and understand what's going on, understand the flow of it all, and then obviously research the sneakers, right? Because I can teach someone everything about sneakers and everything about the culture and everything that comes with it.
Right.
It's very easy to learn, especially when they get excited about it.
Yeah, for sure.
But I cannot teach you how to work hard, how to be punctual and be on time. If you have, you're a hard worker, you're punctual, you understand, how to communicate with people effectively, everything else can be taught at a moment's notice.
That's awesome.
Everything else can be taught at the later date and obviously effectively. So
Right.
to me, it's one of those things where it's trial and error. Like we didn't even have formal interview questions for the longest time. It would always be like, sit down to me and talk to me. Who are you and what are you doing in life? Like,
That's awesome.
that type of conversation. And you'd be surprised how many people are really excited about the concept. Like,
I bet. I mean, I'm assuming you probably have, on a pretty regular basis, people coming in saying, yo, you guys hiring? Because I'm assuming it's like people are coming in, they love smoking, they love shoes, and they probably love both. And it just makes so much sense. Like, as someone who worked in retail for a while, like, I would always try and work in a store that I was excited about whatever the product is. And a store like this is dope. Like, this is sick.
thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you. And that's one thing we really try to focus on doing. It wasn't like hype, and it wasn't just like, focusing on like the momentum of everything. It was really just building something that I would be happy doing.
Right.
And this was something that me and Mina sat down and talked about really early, where, we're both engineers at the
Right.
time.
Oh,
We're
very
both, we both went to the same college. We both had, experienced life struggles, and we were like, you know what if we both get fired from our engineering jobs tomorrow? What's something that we would comfortably be happy sitting here every single day doing?
Right.
And I was like, well, I can talk about sneakers all day. Like, and then Mina was like, oh, I can talk about the smoke shops all day. And then we hit this weird niche of like, well, we can stay here all day. Like, we do that. And it's really funny because, my significant other will always tell me, she'll be like, Bola, like, you spend more time at the store than with me. Like, I don't get to see you. And it's like, well, I really enjoyed this place. This place was always my happy place.
Right.
Walking in and getting to interact with the customers and our regulars, the amount of time that people have sat on this couch with me and talked about everything that they're going on in life
Yeah.
is so common. We
Yeah.
used to make jokes that this was a therapy couch for the longest time.
That's awesome.
Because, again, it was never like, I don't care about making the sale to you. Obviously, I will work hard to earn your business, and I will work hard to make sure that you get something you like.
Right.
But at no point am I chasing the fact that you're going to walk out with a new pair of sneakers.
Right.
You
right.
can come in here, and you can't really see it, but like the floor plan's super open.
Yeah, it is.
To accommodate this space, and it's to allow people to kind of walk in and flow.
Right.
We focus very much on like a no pressure kind of sales tactic, because I always say this: going to a sneaker store has the same thought process in your head as going to like a car lot.
Yeah.
You
for
always
sure.
think you're gonna get upsold. You always think you're gonna get scammed. You always think you're gonna overpay. You
Yeah.
have all these fears. And again, as someone who loves sneaker culture, as someone who really like has spent the entire last parts of my life studying this and getting my foot in the door and getting my toe in the door to just be able to have access as a personal for all these pairs, right?
Right.
Much less to be able to get access and actually be able to help people get them. I wanted to create this environment where I don't care about that stigma.
Yeah.
I really don't care if you're coming in here and buying. If you want to come in here and chill and you're going to grab a drink from the fridge and we're going to sit here and you're going to just rant to me, it's going to be cheaper than therapy and we'll have a better time doing it. And that was always the idea. I always hired people that I wanted to work with.
Right.
Because, again, you run your own business, so I'm sure you experience this. You spend way more time than you intend to, I think, running a business.
Yes, you do.
Whether it's emergencies, whether it's a want, whether it's a need, you are always looking for the opportunity to be in your business, and that's one
Right.
thing I've had to accept. Like, I want to be here, so I'm going to budget my time accordingly. I'm going to figure that out.
Yeah.
And that was always one thing that I've always had, was I look into it and I'm like, can I spend hours with this person and not be bothered, annoyed, or
Yep.
get any type of experiences? And that question always led me to hiring the best people, I'll say, because we have it down to a science. We can train people to figure it out. I can train people
Yeah.
to understand like both parts of the business, because for the most part, smoke and sneakers, obviously, people walk in knowing what they want, right?
Right.
You know, if someone's a retro Jordan guy,
They know exactly what they're looking for.
they know exactly what they're looking for. They know the colorway. They should, for the most part, know their size. Obviously,
Right.
you can try it on and figure that out. But you'll get me to, you know, within 5 or 6 shoes, right?
Yep.
With the smoke shop side, people are very particular,
Oh,
and
for sure.
obviously, that's where kind of product training and everything comes in. So where we can recommend applicable products if we don't know or if we don't have it, and stuff like that. And same thing with sneakers, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But it's led us to kind of figure it all out in a really fun way, and to be able to just have the employees do them. And that's one thing I'm very happy with, is all of our employees enjoy working here.
Right.
We have a good time, and I have a great relationship, you know? It's so great where it's like, oh, hey, this is going on in my personal life. Can we do X, Y, Z? Or, hey, this is what's happening. Can we figure it all out? And
Right.
it's super nice to, because the job isn't super, like, formal, and it's not, like, working at, like, you know, a bigger chain resale store or a bigger
Yep.
chain smoke shop, you get to have these personal experiences. All my employees know that you can call me pretty much any time of the day,
Yeah.
and I will answer or text you within a minute,
That's awesome.
and we'll be able to communicate and figure it all out. And they do a phenomenal job. They deserve all the praise for it. Honestly, every success goes to them, and everything goes to them and my, you know, my co-owner, of being able to, like, make this work. It takes a village to run a store. Honestly.
Totally. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
And
'Cause you've got to have someone here every day that you're open, every hour that you're open. Like, it makes sense.
exactly,
Yeah.
and they're also, again, one thing I've really enjoyed about the team as a whole is they've worked as a family, and they work as a group of people together.
Yeah.
So, like, when one person's going through an emergency, you'd be surprised that people are fighting to get to cover and help out in whatever manner they can.
Right.
And it's kind of one of those things that you took for granted. Like, when I was working at my previous job, I never realized what it was like to have, like, a culture, like a work culture.
Yeah.
And so maybe it's because of how laid back the stores are. Maybe it's because of how much fun everyone's having. I'd like to
Right.
think that.
Yeah.
Or maybe we just got really lucky in the process.
That's awesome.
We're always looking to bring new staff on, and so feel free to DM us if you're in the Long Beach area or Fun Valley. But
That's dope.
we're always looking to, like, expand and have fun.
Right.
Again, one thing I'm gonna die on this point is that sneakers and everything like that was always supposed to be fun.
Totally,
It was
yeah.
supposed to be enjoyable, right? Like, I bet you can still remember the feelings you had when you bought your first sneaker.
For sure.
And
For sure. I remember the camping. I camped a lot more when I was in my 20s, but I haven't camped in a very long time. But, like, even just that, like, talking to friends, meeting people, like, I still have friendships in Philly from just camp. I went to college in Philly, and so from just camping in, like, 2012, 2013, there are people that I stay in touch with. I go to, one guy has a store out in Philly that I go to his store every so often, just chat to him. Like, it's cool. Like, you really do build some cool relationships.
And again, it's the idea that you get to enjoy it, right? Sneakers was never meant to be an investment. It was never meant to be the most profitable thing in the world, right? Because it's a really weird market, and it's also like you're dependent on one factory or a couple of stores providing everything.
Right.
So this whole secondhand or, you know, resale side of the world is really interesting. But at the end of the day, the most important point of it all is just the relationships you build. I'll care more about having 100 happy customers than having an extra $1,000 in my pocket from you know, getting the actual sales. So it's been such a blessing and such an amazing experience to be able to work with people and get to play a little part in where they end up in their sneaker journey. Because
That's awesome.
again, we say every pair tells a story, and like
Yeah.
whether you're talking about Kevin Hart Air Forces, which
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about those in a minute.
so
Those are
sick.
crazy. Yeah.
or you know the Hollywood Kobe's or anything of that nature, to be able to have like someone hit their goal and their grail, whether it's you know the original or a re-release. Shout out Nike for dropping all these re-releases. I'm not going to complain, but it's just really, really, really interesting to see, and it's so cool. Like,
That's awesome.
it's one thing that I love hearing is just being able to sit back in my little couch and just watch people's interaction and like hear their stories. It's been such a interesting perspective to gain, and you know, thankful for every step along the way.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's really cool. What's very unique about your store, which is why I was really excited to talk to you, was because I mean, I'm sure you've seen it. Everyone who's watching has probably seen this. Like, resale stores are going through it right now. Like, they're having so much trouble. But the fact that you're not reliant on the resale solely to stay in business, you've got the soul mentality. No, I was trying to put the pun in there, but I didn't do a good job.
That's a great plug. Someone clip that in the chat.
But like, I really love the fact that it does allow you to pursue your passions and I mean, we talked about this before, but like your prices are crazy, like really, really good on. Obviously, like, there are certain shoes that are better than others because of whatever reasons, but like across the board, I'd say your prices beat just about every other resale store that I've talked to, and it seems like it's because you're not fully reliant on the sneakers being the thing. Like, you don't need the sneakers to keep the doors open. It purely is a passion project and a way to get people in the door. It's like a really cool way of marketing the store, I guess, in a broader sense, which is cool. I like that a lot.
That's one thing I will straight up say. We had them early, which was the All-Star highs. And anyone who follows us on our story saw that we posted as many pairs as you wanted to grab for $115.
That's crazy.
I think it was 115 or 120. I don't want to get caught, but
like not even released yet.
Yes, not even released yet. This was again 2 weeks ago, so you would have been able to get them about a month early, maybe 3 weeks, and we were below retail on them.
That's wild.
And
that's wild.
It was because, again, I don't know how the shoe will perform. I'm going to be very honest with you, but I know at that price point, people who wanted them will get them.
Right.
And also, we can do these really cool opportunities of helping people out. Where else are you going to find an unreleased Jordan for $60 off of retail?
Right. Yeah, that's wild. That's wild to me. And I mean, I've seen your sneakers. They look legit. Like, they are legit. So it's cool to see that you're doing something like that with legitimate pairs. It's not like you've got some secret operation where you're buying boxes of fakes coming in. Because like people, I'm sure I don't know if you've dealt with this online, but like one thing you see online a lot is people are like, if you get a shoe, for me, for example, if I got a shoe like 2 months early, even if I bought it from like Flight Club, GOAT, StockX, there's the immediate assumption that the shoe is fake. But people don't really understand that there are many ways, and we won't get into that because obviously there's some privacy things going on.
Yep.
But like there are many ways to get sneakers that are authentic early.
So one thing I will say is every single pair that we get comes from a trusted source.
That's awesome.
And it's not like your trusted source, which is your Instagram reseller.
Yeah.
It's a highly legitimate source.
Well, you're the trusted source for somebody else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
you're the okay.
That's a good point. We stand behind our authenticity guarantee.
Right.
I know
That's awesome.
There's several other stores that have gotten caught in that limelight, in that situation. We work really hard to make sure that we don't do that.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, one thing I will tell you very clearly, the reason that I think those stores go down that rabbit hole is they're chasing the profits.
Yeah. Which
is, even if I'm buying, stolen, contraband, whatever it is, pairs,
right.
The price is really good on them, and then I can sell them for really high.
Right.
Again, that is not our intent. That has never been our intent. That has never been going to be the point that we're working with.
Right.
So we get to weirdly balance out this middle and be like, okay, well, here's what wholesale cost is coming from our direct, reputable source.
That's awesome.
And so, okay, well, I can sell them on StockX right now for $150.
Right.
Do I just want to send 1 million boxes out to StockX or go consignment? No.
Right.
I'll throw them up here, and you know what? Whenever they sell, they sell. It doesn't matter if the pairs, sell out really quickly because it's not the main source of income. And that's one thing that you hit like right on the nail. We get to do whatever we want with this side of the store. It really solely is like a passion project.
That's awesome.
And so we get to throw out some crazy deals. One thing that bothers me was that deal specifically took a little longer than it should have to sell out because I don't think we're out there. Again, the store's barely 2 years old. So we throw out all these fun, crazy, interesting things. We did another crazy one for the Flints that were well below retail.
Right.
I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head on that one, but we'll throw out all these fun, interesting deals, and bulk, offers for anyone who wants them. And whether it's for you to cop a personal pair, whether it's for you to resell them, whatever it is, at the end of the day, it's not my business. My job is to make sure that you have a great experience dealing with me in the store and you get everything you want. And that's it, because I've really, really gotten to enjoy everything I've done.
Right.
And the moment I think this stops being fun and it starts focusing solely on profits is when I think I've kind of gotten lost in the plot.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And a lot of the stores, I mean, I'm not too familiar with a lot of that's not true. I'm familiar with a lot of sneaker stores. I'm just not as familiar with their finances. But I from what I've seen online, it seems like the people who really are just focusing on those razor thin margins as their sole source of income, I'm sure it gets stressful so fast. And then it's kind of like, and one thing there's a store I watch on YouTube called, what's it called? It's by this guy named Caleb. He's a video game reseller, but it's a similar idea where the margins are very slim. I think they're probably percentage-wise larger than sneakers, but obviously you're selling a $40 game versus a $300 pair of sneakers. That being said, it seems like the game, specifically in sneakers, has changed to where if you don't have some kind of social media presence, having a sneaker consignment store that's solely sneaker consignment is impossible. And
so there's so many things to unpack in that sentence. The The first one is...
Yeah, I should have broken it up to a couple
No,
different sentences.
it absolutely is, right? Especially being in California, it's really interesting.
I'm sure rent's probably expensive for a location like this.
Rent's expensive. The general cost of everything is a little bit more expensive.
Yeah.
Like licensing, keeping just the lights on with everything going on.
Taxes are probably more expensive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's just more burdensome. And so the idea we've always focused on is I would rather make razor thin margins on the sneakers as long as we're able to make it consistent and, you know, have a good reputation. The last thing I want to hear is, you know, someone being unhappy. Because imagine barely making any money and having a pissed off client.
Yeah, true.
You're in the wrongs for both parts.
Yeah,
there. And so where things get really interesting in consignment and the resale world of everything is the weird middle point of trying to keep every penny to yourself, right?
Right.
I think in 2019 and 2020 and so on and so forth, sneakers became really profitable. There was a ton of money. And then, you know, the world adjusted with everything we have going on and, you know, the economy and all these things that are way more advanced than I'll ever be, but all these big picture things. You got to this point where you need to kind of scrap every penny you could.
Right.
And that's a really bad way to operate a business. It's a really bad way to, like, live. Like, you're just so stressed out all the time. I can't even imagine that.
Yeah.
So we get to have this weird point in the middle. One thing I will say about our store specifically is we don't do consignment. Everything on the wall, everything you see is owned by me or the store.
That's awesome.
In this weird little, like, mixture of everything. Like,
Do you buy?
everything.
Like, if people walk in with a pair of sneakers?
We are only buying DS right now.
Cool. That makes sense.
I haven't been able to train the employees enough to authenticate used sneakers.
Yeah, used is also tough, too, because, like, you have there's such a variance in what you can get. Like, it's crazy.
And again, I don't think there was a way to make our customers happy with used sneakers, especially because
it could look amazing and smell terrible. Like, I've had that with mystery boxes a bunch.
Yeah, honestly, you can get into so many, like, weird situations.
Yeah.
As well as, again, the connections we've built and the people we get to work with give us really good prices on new sneakers.
That's awesome.
So there's no reason to kind of go used.
Right.
As well as it also just full transparency was the authentication process.
Yeah, huge. That's huge.
We wanted to make sure that every single pair we get is through a trusted, valid channel. And so by you going used, you obviously allow people to bring in pairs. And sneaker fakes have just gotten way too good right now.
I know, it's crazy.
It's like insanely alarming.
It's nuts, yeah.
So while we do buy, like, I get to be really nitpicky. Like, even if the stitching's off, and I know for a fact it could or couldn't be like a Nike defect.
Totally.
It's not worth putting our name, especially when, again, we try really hard to do right by the community and the people we work with. It's not a profit thing. So, like, if I feel uncomfortable or something's throwing me off and I really can't stand behind that full stamp,
Smart.
we just don't do it. And it's just one of those weird things with the fact that because we own all the sneakers, it allows us to, again, be crazy aggressive on price. No consignor is going to come in here and be like,
yeah, sell this for $50 under retail or
exactly.
whatever. Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, no one's going to be happy in that situation.
Yep.
And it also allows us to have a lot more fun doing it. We get to do giveaways. We get to do random coin flips at a moment's notice.
Yeah.
Like, we get to do whatever we want because, frankly, we own the shoes.
Right.
You get to do how you want to do it, and you get to also work with people and make sure that everyone's happy. Like, there's no fear on how you sell a shoe or whatever it is.
Right. No,
And
that's huge.
You also, I hate to say this, I personally don't believe that consignment models work. Like, it's so confusing.
Yeah.
Because by owning all the pairs and making the same margins that most of those consigners are going to charge you, you're already in the green. So why not just have more fun doing it in the process and not have to deal with people
100%.
constantly pulling out their pairs, people constantly upset. And also, like, there's so many things that go wrong. Like, I would be really curious to see how consigners handle, you know, like, break-ins and stuff. Like, what's the conversation that goes with that?
Yeah. I mean, you look at, speaking of 2J's earlier, the whole situation with Urban Necessities after he had left and then the consigners weren't getting paid out. And, like, now these consigners are all owed. And the thing that's crazy, it's not like you owe the bank $1 million. You owe 30,000 people, probably less, probably 1,000 people, each individually like $1,000. And it's so difficult to even track them down and pay them. It's just it's nuts. Like, how would you even deal with that in a situation like Urban Necessities is in? I can't even imagine.
Exactly. It just gets messy.
Yeah.
And again, one thing that I've stand by and I will constantly say is even with consignment, like, authentication is so
Totally.
interesting because, like, some of these people, and I'm sure we've all seen the eBay girl where she'll like spin the shoes and
Yep.
smell it, and she'll like tap it, and she'll have like a perfect understanding of it all.
Yeah.
You have to be really good at what you do to authenticate it. And so what happens if you're consigning fakes and or if consigning stolen products? Like that's I think been the recent theme.
Because you don't know where they're getting the shoes from. Like you know where you're getting your shoes from, but you don't know where these people are coming in with like a new pair of Nike Air Yeezy 2s that they say is new from whatever ago, but it could have been made in China a year ago.
You really don't know. And again, one thing that I've died on this hill of is I'll make sure that everything we do, whether it's on both sides of the store, goes through the appropriate channels and goes through the appropriate authentication QA/QC process, right? We've gotten pairs from our channels before that have been scuffed or damaged. I think there's a few of these interesting pairs the reds that came in a little bit scratched because of shipping and because of all of that.
Right.
And I get to be picky about that, right? And I get to have the power in the situation and just be like, hey, yeah, this is one we're not going to take or whatever it is.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, with sneakers and being a business, it's always you who has to answer the client. If a client comes in and buys a pair of shoes or buys anything actually in this matter, you can't be like, oh, it's Joe Schmo's fault because he sold me that pair, blah, 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 or he sold me this item. It doesn't work like that. It's really just heavily based on me having to own it up. And for the most part, very easy to fix, and most people are super understanding, and we can walk it through and figure out a solution where everybody's happy. But you can't really play those games on the scale that everyone's doing it, you know?
Yeah.
I'm happy to be my little paw shop. I'm happy to run my 2 locations. I'm happy to get to work with everyone. And again, I will say this 100 times. I'm so happy to do everything I do that the money doesn't need to necessarily be there.
Right. That's awesome. That's incredible, man. That's really, really cool to hear. And it's cool that you're passionate. I mean, obviously you wouldn't do this if you weren't passionate about it, but it really seems like the only stores that will survive this sort of dip that we're in. Because I mean, I see it on YouTube too. I used to be able to post a video on, the new Yeezy 350 color, and it would get 100,000 views, and I would spit it out in 3 hours. And it was not a bad video, but it just was. I was just saying this one's black versus this one's cream. But now just looking at the shoes that people are interested in, you see who's successful on YouTube, like Elliot Page. Shout out to him. He's doing things where he's going to China and looking at fake markets. It's everything's kind of leveled up and become more difficult for a lot of different reasons, but specifically in resale because people are more discerning. People aren't as interested in the hobby anymore, and things have just gotten so expensive that people just got priced out. So it's cool that you are a part of the people that will hopefully, presumably, make it, because there's just, so if you're someone who's watching and wants to do something like this, I think it's important to have that. I wouldn't call this a backup plan, but have a way to make money that's reliable. You said something to me before we started filming that smoking is recession proof. It is.
I wholeheartedly believe it.
And so it makes sense. This, I don't see people not buying everything. I mean, we talked about lighters earlier. People are always going to need lighters, even if they don't smoke. I need lighters. I don't smoke, and I use lighters all the time to light fires. Not anything crazy, guys. Just general fire needs.
You scared me where that one was going.
I was going to say bonfires or I can't legally do it in my yard, so I won't say that. Not bonfire. It doesn't matter.
I thought you were going to go candles. That was the easy answer.
Candles
there.
would be an easy answer.
Or incense. I should have said
candles. I can't believe I didn't think of that.
So here's what I will say. For the most part, sneakers is such a volatile market specifically.
Yes.
It's up and down, and again, you're kind of choked out by these 3 or 4 big companies that do what they do. Mm-hmm. And so if Nike one day decides that they're going to limit the entire production line to 500 pairs, then that's the way that things are going to trickle down to the market, right?
Yeah.
But with Smoke Shop and everything like that, it is recession proof. It has a need for everything. Again, and there are so many interesting things about the Smoke Shop side of the world, which this is a shoe podcast we won't talk about, but
no, we can. I mean, shoot, get into it.
One thing I will stand and die on this hill is the CBD creams. Mm-hmm. Whether you partake in anything in that field, that is the most amazing thing for pain relief. I had an aunt who's literally actively doing chemotherapy, mm-hmm. and she will tell me that specific bottle right there is the only thing that helps her sleep at night.
Wow, that's
so
amazing.
I am absolutely a supporter of that because it's a pain relief. You know what I mean? Whether the ingredients in it are CBD or whatever it is, mm-hmm. That is something that relieves pain in an effective manner, and it's not addictive. That's fine.
Right.
Obviously, you get into this weird points of addiction and where you are at with your customer relationships. And that is one thing that I will tell you is you hit it spot on. It's a backup plan. It is always the idea is both parts of the store will kind of do this teeter-totter things, right? You know, during Christmas time, you'll see smoke shop sales drop, and then you'll see like sneakers
go up.
Sneakers will go up.
Yeah.
And then during like January specifically, sneakers levels out, and then smoke shop side goes crazy up, right?
That makes sense.
And then for whatever reason, February and March are both high. But like, stuff like that where it's also really important to understand the clientele, the market, and the community around you, right?
Yeah.
One thing we got told when we were looking at a location to spot before we picked out this one was you're going to want to literally sit in front of the store and you're going to watch who's walking by.
Yeah.
And that'll tell you exactly what you want to do.
Yeah.
Because one is, from a sneaker perspective, let me see what sneakers were on foot. So that was really cool.
If they're all wearing like Clarks, you're not going to sell anything in that area. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or like, I got to learn this, like the Jordan 10s. I'm not a fan of them. I know it's a controversial take.
Right.
I don't like them. They look too much like a boot for me.
Fair.
But the community that we have here and the people that we have here love them. And so every time a Jordan 10 comes out, you'd be surprised the amount of people that come in and ask us for it.
Wow.
Wow.
So what's your bestseller like silhouettes here in this area or in your store?
Ooh, Jordan 4s have been on an insane high. I also die on the hill. That's because we get to do some crazy prices on them. So that's really good.
Yeah.
And I will also say like Dunks and / SBs are still there for us because of how many cool ideas and concepts have came out, right? Whether it's
they really get to experiment with those. Those are cool.
The Bronx Girls that just came out where it's like an entirely asphalt.
Yeah, right over there. Yeah, is that, I think it is on camera. Yeah.
Do you want to grab it?
Yeah, grab them. Yeah, might as well.
Sure. Like the Bronx Girls where like this doesn't show well on camera, and I'll leave this for you and editing team to figure out. It's like an asphalt turf like material.
That's cool.
And all the bling and all like the colors, it's such a cool pair.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. I've never seen it. I literally saw these on the sneakers app, but I didn't really even give them a second look. So you don't see it. You're right. You don't see the asphalt.
So here's my question for you, and this has been something we get asked all the time.
Yeah.
Do you think photos of a sneaker affect the market, and do you also think that it's intentional? Because we're having a little bit of an internal debate on this one, so I'd be curious to get your opinion on it.
I do think they affect the market a lot, and I think that you can't really know what a sneaker is going to look like until you have it in hand, but also until you see the official images from Nike. And I think Nike also hides some things from you, because I read all the sneakers stuff on this. Well, actually, I might not have fully read it, but I didn't know this has a wear-away upper.
I didn't know either until we got that scratched pair, and it was wearing away, and then I was like, wait, what? And then obviously some more research, we got to kind of figure it all out.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. They definitely intentionally keep some things private. And from what I've heard from certain people, they are, and I'm sure you've probably heard this too, but like Nike has people that specifically leak things on purpose.
So I am absolutely aware of that, but
it might not be, maybe Nike themselves isn't condoning it, but there are people within higher up areas that let the people know what's going on a little bit early.
I think we live in a time where information / leaks help affect where Nike's next moves are. So
makes sense.
If a leaked photo leaks, right, and let's say this one, right, and it's not the best quality photo, but it's still a photo.
Right.
If Nike sees that it's not performing too well, do you really think they're going to make it a all wide available release, or do you think Nike's going to restrict it to just their flagship stores and anyone who already kind of placed an order for it?
Right.
Right. I think it gives Nike a free little test run on what they want to do and how they want to do things.
Because they'll leak it like a year early, which is around when the production time. I mean, I'm assuming the production times are about 6 months to a year out, like in terms of, that's what I've, like if you look at this, so when do these drop? These drop next month or later this month?
I think it's the 17th.
So these were made between July 18th, 2025 and August 28th, 2025. So that's what, 6 months ago?
Yeah, 6 months.
So yeah, I guess that's true.
Which is right when photos leaked with this one, actually.
That's true. That's true. So like, you're right. Yeah, they could probably go in and be like, yo, listen, we want to cut this down a little bit. But then again, there's some pairs that come out and you're like, why did this pair drop? Like, it's not selling at all. Or for example, with the do you have the Grape 5s? I thought those were gonna fly off shelves, but they sat everywhere.
So,
well, at least in my area.
I will agree they did somewhat sell here, or sell here. Like they did kind of like in that weird little middle space.
Yeah.
Where if you're looking for like a size 11 and above, you're not gonna be able to find it, but anything below you are getting pretty lucky with. I think Nike is also in this weird perspective of trying to gain customers back.
Yes.
And that's why I will die on this hill of the undefeateds coming back.
That was huge.
Because think about it, if you need to wake up sneaker culture,
bring back the first collab.
You're bringing back one of the greatest shoes of all time, right?
Agree, yeah.
It's also part of the reason I think we're getting so many Off-White / Virgil archives. I don't know
Mhm.
what they're going to classify that as, but
Yeah.
like redrops back, right? And I'll describe it as this. I think Nike's experiencing its rebuild era,
Yes.
where the same way like basketballs and professional sports team do, where they'll kind of give away everyone and then start to re-procure things.
Yep.
Nike is working very hard on doing that by actually listening to people. And this is something that I was fascinated by, right back onto the nines. We got like 3 big colorways of the nines this year
I know. That was huge.
within the last 12 months. This
It was
year
like
just
the cool
technically
grays. It was the UNCs, and then the Flints is the other one. Am I
Flints.
missing any?
And then there's an olive.
Oh,
They're
there
the
is the
olives.
olive. There's, yeah.
I think that was 2025, but
I'm not sure.
correct me
I
if
don't
I'm
know.
wrong.
There's
We're
so many shoes to drop, man. It's tough
know.
and especially you're seeing so many in store. It's probably tough to keep.
the amount of times I get a text message from, "Oh, this shoe's ready for pickup today. Can you
Right.
grab it?" And I'm like, "Wait, I didn't know that shoe was coming out. Hold up, let me text people that I have coming in, or let me see who wants them."
Right.
Like I was like, "Okay, great." And so it's again really interesting to see like Nike has finally listened to people and is actually
Yeah.
giving us what we want. Like
Yep.
the first round of Union 1 highs, I think were like impossible to get. And they
Yeah.
were a lot of grails for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then they gave us
Yeah.
2 collaborations for counting the upcoming one,
Mm-hmm.
where they were readily available. I'll argue anyone who wanted the Chicago pair
Yep.
that dropped a few months ago could have gotten them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna die on that hill that if you were willing to put in the effort, I think that pair was somewhat easy to secure.
Dude, I paid $1,000 for that pair before it came out. Crazy.
You need to start texting me before you buy
I
things
will.
on
I
Go.
will. I will.
On all seriousness, we need to deactivate Goat on your account or something. We need to have this conversation because
It might have even been $1,100, and I bought it from. Who did I buy it from? I bought it from like one of those big. I don't. Maybe it was Soul Steals or something. I bought it from Soul, but it was like they only had one pair and just happened to be. No, it wasn't even my size. It was a size 11. I sold it to someone for $700, but I lost like $400 on it. But I got a review out of it.
this is where you have to fill me in underworld
Yeah,
because for the most part, you're not a sneaker seller. You're
No,
not
not at all.
very much of that. You do it for the content.
And then I have to get rid of the shoes that I don't want to keep. And which is now is most shoes because I found that like I just wear like 4 or 5 pairs, and I just don't need every pair that I review. Like for example, the 6s. As much as I love that shoe, I don't know what I'm gonna do with them yet because I don't see myself wearing them every day or that often. So it's like as much as I love the shoe, and 2 years ago I would have kept it, no question. It's just like it's such a great shoe too. I just don't know if I need it. So I buy like a lot of mystery boxes for short form content, and then I'll buy like all the shoes that I think will do well review wise. So like the Black F4s, I really like those a lot. I just didn't need them, so I got rid of them. But then I just have to find a way to get rid of them, and the only way is to resell them because it's not like I don't want to lose. Like I spent $1,000 on a mystery box, I can't just eat that cost. You know what I mean? Like those shoes aren't even my size. It's not like I can just wear them.
I think, I don't know. I think you have to play more of a balancing act than I do because you have to think for like the 200,000 people that watch your content on a daily basis, and you have to kind of get in their mind. And so you absolutely do have to play this guessing game very frequently.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know how you do it. With all due respect, props to you, man. Like it's impressive, but communicate with me before you buy a pair. That's all I'm asking.
I will, absolutely.
Because there's been a few pairs where I've texted you and you're like, I just bought them, and I'm like,
the 6s were an example of that.
Yeah, exactly.
You literally text. And actually, these are 2 pairs I'm picking up for you. I'm grabbing these, the Kobe's, and then also the ones as well.
I love these.
Which the ones, I don't know if I'm gonna fit both boxes in my suitcase, so I might just wear those ones out and then keep these ones in the box.
Whatever you want to do with them, I think they're completely up to you. Because if you want, we can also ship it out to you. That's an option.
I might do that too.
So
actually.
if you want to,
I might do that too.
you want to take the pairs home, so that way you could film with them.
Well, I might film this one in store if that's cool, and then this one, I might film at home.
It's 100% up to you. Let me know what we need to do.
Okay,
Honestly.
great.
Like that's. Here's what I'll say. It's the logistics of it. We could always iron out.
Sweet.
For any customer, anyone, reach out to us. We'll make sure that the logistics make sense for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just the genuine culture and the community of it, right? As long
Right.
as you're getting a product you like at a price you prepare for, we can figure out a way to make sure you get the pair. Like it's like that's the last thing I care about at this point because
Yeah.
obviously it's as easy as going to a UPS store, which is literally our neighboring store.
I saw that. I was like, that's so nice. That's so great.
That saves our butt all the time because again, we don't really have a website built because we really want to focus on taking care of the people that come in day to day.
That's awesome.
But we do ship out. We have shipped out a ton. It just we have to get to your Instagram DM, so it takes a little while. I apologize, but we'll make sure that everyone's happy, obviously.
That's awesome.
And yeah, you get to do so many cool things. So
Yeah, that's dope. That's awesome.
yeah, let me know if you're looking for any more pairs. Obviously, I
Yeah.
think we have a few fun things coming up for you.
Yeah, I'm excited. We talked about it earlier. I won't tell you guys what it is, but it's sick. I'm really excited
And
about that.
yeah, we got a lot of it's really interesting things that you see, right? Because
Yeah.
we talk about people coming in and like how it goes.
Right.
And there's a few people that we consistently work with that we trust. And when they bring in stuff, it's always like, okay, so you got to explain the story to us. Like,
Yeah, let's talk about these ones.
the
So
Kevin
what are
Hart
these?
shoes. So this was a collaboration with Kevin Hart and Paris Jordan
Sick.
to create for the Hart House restaurant and food truck that he created.
Very cool.
This was given to us by someone who was really high in the staff, and it was a pair of customs. There were 3 colorways made,
Wow.
and the first colorway was auctioned off for charity. I think it sold for $70,000 or something along those lines. But those were limited to 2 pairs, 1 pair for the store and then 1 pair for the actual auction.
Right.
And then the other 2 colorways were given out to employees or staff of the sneakers or
Wow.
of the store. And so you get this really interesting, weird shoe. Like we couldn't find anything when we were talking to the client about getting these pairs in store until like a random Hypebeast article from like 2019.
That's
came up,
awesome.
and then we figured out what we were doing. So
Wow.
you get all these really cool experiences. You get to learn new insights, and you get to have a great time.
That's sick. So, are you selling these? Are you holding on to these? Like, what's your plan with these?
I haven't decided because I don't know what it's worth. Full transparency.
Fair,
Obviously, we haven't. There's not like a StockX link I can scan or anything,
Right, exactly. And the fact that it's like a custom too makes it even harder because it's not like Nike doesn't have like a exactly like you said. There's no like special SKU for it or anything. It's
Exactly.
so much harder to look for.
We have the official Instagram page made by the designer, Paris Jordan, when he did it. So we have like a history of it. We have photos of the shoe specifically with the person that sold it to us with Kevin Hart. So like the history of it, it's all fully there and documented.
Right.
But it puts me in this really interesting position because again, I'm not trying to get on like rip anyone off. I'm not
Right.
trying to get anyone to spend more money than they want to. So when you get these interesting gems, you're like, what do I price these at? What's the opportunity? What it is? So we have them for sale. We don't know what they're worth. Full transparency. So shoot us offers with what you're comfortable paying.
What would be
I
an
guess.
offer that you would say? What's like a? I wouldn't say don't say your bottom thing because people might just run. But like what's an offer that if someone walked in and gave you this offer, you'd be like done.
I really don't know.
So if someone came in and offered you like $6,000 for them.
They could take it.
Oh, fair.
Because again, it's not money. Like it's not about money for me, right? Obviously, I know what we paid to the client, which we're not going to disclose right now.
Right.
But I don't want to rip anyone off by saying the shoe's worth X amount when there's no history of the shoe, right? Right. It would be to my best interest to throw out a crazy high number and be like, well, the only pair that's sold and is documented is $70,000, so give me $70,000, right?
Right. Yeah.
But it's not apples to apples. It's not even apples to oranges.
Right.
So the last thing I want to do is have someone spend an exorbitant amount of money on this pair and not get what they're worth. So that's why it's kind of open to offers. People send me what they're comfortable spending, what they're happy spending. And then at that point, if it's above the cost and it makes sense, we'll do it. But like full transparency, the idea is not to make $1 million. That's what we spent the last like hour, I think, talking about. It's not to make all the money in the world. It's to have a happy customer. So this is one of the interesting parts about owning a store is you get to collect all these really cool pieces. Yeah. And then you're like, wait, what is this worth? And like, how do we go about marketing this or pricing this? Because like, there was such a weird history to this shoe specifically. Like you can't like just stock exit and be like, well, okay, here's where the market should be at. We want to be below market. Let's do this number. Right. You can't do that anymore. You take a photo of it and you'll find pictures of either celebrities wearing the shoe or the designer actually making this shoe. Right. And then you end up in this weird point where you're just like, okay, let's hold on to it and just let people look at it. And you get to make cool content for it and get to showcase the shoe for what it is and go from there.
That's awesome. Well, dude, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you about this. This is great, man. Seriously.
Thank you so much, and thank you for obviously coming to
course.
Long Beach and for giving us the opportunity to express ourselves. And I really enjoyed this conversation.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you so much.
I think I could have talked to you about another like 3 hours, but I just don't want to keep you from open. I don't know how long we've been doing this or what time it is, but I also don't want to keep you from opening because I know you got to open it at a certain time. But seriously, thank you so much. Where can they find you? What's the best place for people who maybe, well, first of all, in the Long Beach area, but also people who are somewhere else?
So Instagram is always our go-to preferred method. That's where we'll post all of our deals, offers, steals, everything like that. We do ship. Like, let me be very clear, because we don't have a website. That's a hindsight that we did, but I'll stand on that. I'm very confident in why we did it, but we don't have a website, but we can ship. It's not an issue with where you're located. We'll make sure that it makes sense for you. So Instagram, Soul Mentality Stores is the best way to reach us. And then we also are on like Google and Yelp. So if you ever need to call the store, we have a number and everything like that. And yeah, just please be patient. You know, we're a small mom and pop store. We have like 2 employees working all the time. So we'll get back to you, but just not always right away.
Fair. Great. Well, dude, thank you so much. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
This is a blast, man.
Yes, sir.
Cool. See you guys in the next one.
See ya.